Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Come to us for your news and opinions. We got a voice. There is no choice. Wisdom voice in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast, it's like cruiserweight action. Your house is a perfect distraction. Papa in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Slow.
What's up, guys? What's cracking? Hollywood House in your house. We back. We ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are with the shits, because we're with the shits. And we're ready to talk a little wrestling. That is right. We are back. You guys already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to the professional wrestling business. And guys, we are indeed back. I am back, but I am not alone here on this Sunday house party edition of In Your House. We haven't got a chance to do this in a little bit. I've been hopping on here. I've been hopping on solo, and I've been really figuring out how to go live by myself. And that's great. That's a great thing that I'm learning to do. But now I got a chance to have my co-host back on here. He's been real busy doing his thing, and finally got a chance to bring him back on here. And that is, of course, Hypocrisy Jones. How's it going, brother, man?
Yo, what is up out there, household? You see what I'm doing right now. Y'all can see it, because if you look and you can see it. I'm ready for this smoke sesh. I'm ready for this house party. Conda ain't got to do nothing solo no more. I got to catch my breath, but man, I'm ready.
I know that's right, man. I definitely hear it too. I hear it too. You say you gotta get your breath. You really had to. No, I totally feel it, man. No, I'm glad to be back here on In Your House, because we definitely got a lot to talk about and a lot to discuss. And last time I was on here, I had Sam Knight on here. He was coming through, and we got a chance to have a little discussion. And that leads me to talk about what we're doing today, because we're going to have a discussion with hopefully many different people out there in the household. We're going to get a little interactive here on the StreamYard, and we want to talk a little SmackDown, and we want to go in depth about SmackDown and talk about that. I know you haven't had a chance to do your smoke sessions because of how busy you've been with everything that you're doing, acting and comedy and just out there working, man. But because of that, I wanted to talk SmackDown because I thought it was a good episode, but there's also many things that I want to discuss and break down from the last few SmackDowns, and just things that I've noticed.
Yeah, there's so many things going on in the world of SmackDown. It's so crazy right now. Like, there's so many things going on in the world of WWE right now. And like you said, we are going to talk about that, but we are also going to be interactive with the household. We have some special guests coming on. We have some people coming to ask questions. If you have a question to talk about or to ask about wrestling, or you have an opinion about what's going on in this road to WrestleMania, you know, we're here for it. And actually, we have a pretty special guest right now who hopped on with us, just kind of out of the blue. That was very fast, very fast. Like, when he's fully ready, we'll bring him on. But it's a very special guest. Oh, okay, he's actually good. So if I don't like do this very special, he's gonna yell at me. He's already gonna yell at you, but you know.
Oh yeah.
So without further ado, we have Aloysius Jenkins Skipper the Third on the In Your House podcast.
Oh, here he is.
You did it wrong. It's Aloysius Skipper Jenkins the Third. And oh, isn't she beautiful? Isn't she beautiful? Look at her. Oh,
I knew this was coming.
oh, did you know? You want to know why you knew? Because I told you. I told you it was going to happen. I told you.
Oh,
yeah.
Both. Okay.
What are you doing?
No, I was showing off.
See, you gonna get yourself in trouble now.
I know, but I couldn't sleep, and look.
How'd you get in my room and take my belt? Give me my belt.
Now look at you. Now look at you.
Kind of both are. Give me my belt.
You know, Aloysius, we're gonna let you handle that, and then we're gonna talk some more SmackDown. We'll holler at you in a little bit.
Bye.
Oh man, I gotta handle that, bro.
Oh man, this is the randomness that you're gonna get on In Your House. Aloysius Skipper Jenkins III, and I have to talk about it. I cannot stand that man, but I have to do my due diligence as a wrestling media personality and congratulate the Infinite Man, Tim, on becoming the new Destination 6 World Heavyweight Champion. His manager, I don't care for the guy, but Tim, he is a hell of a wrestler, a hell of an athlete, and if there was anybody that was going to take that title off the Forever Champion, hey, Tim is a great pick. The Infinite Man, hey, Infinite, forever, it goes hand in hand right there. Congratulations to Tim, new Destination 6 World Heavyweight Champion.
Yo, shout out Infinite. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, man. Had to show that love to my man just because he's a hell of a damn worker and I respect the hell out of him. But we have to talk some SmackDown. We have to talk some Rock. And as I am here in the new location of the household, I'm looking at my mounted smart TV here in my studio, and in my ear here while I'm talking to you, Hype, I'm listening to The Rock, and he's preparing to give the Rock concert that he did this past Friday in Memphis. And I've been pretty critical of The Rock and his promos for the last couple of weeks, but I got to tell you, it was great to see a Rock concert again. It was great to hear the 2003 Hollywood Rock theme. Being critical, I could be all that stuff. I can talk about how long he's being on promos, how redundant he's being on promos, but I got to tell you, I had to throw all that stuff out the window when I heard that theme and saw him do a Rock concert, bro.
The Rock concert was pretty cool, right? It's pretty nostalgic, and I mean, he came strong with it too, and it was a weird Rocky that we saw too, because he's already in this weird lane where he's kind of trying to be he wants to be evil Red Eye Rock, but like
kind of tweening it,
kind of tweening it here. It was kind of interesting. I liked it. What were your highlights of this?
So I really feel like that with this Rock concert, it was great to see him come and, talk trash about Seth Rollins, talk trash about Cody Rhodes. He's getting real personal, bringing Mama Rhodes into it. Yeah, right now he has the belt in his hand, and I don't mean the WWE Universal Championship belt. I mean the Rock's heavy belt that he's going to. He claims that he's going to beat
Cody Rhodes, right?
And give it to his mother. And I'm like, wow, this is the one big thing that sticks out to me. Once again, I could be critical about how long he's talking, blah, 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 whatever. I've already done that, so I'd be being redundant. But what really sticks out to me is how quickly this is getting personal. And I'm like, it kind of has to, because we are only like 3 weeks out from WrestleMania. But I'm like, we're ramping it up quick because he's bringing Mama into it. So it's like, I dig it. I dig where he's going. Once again, I am feeling like that with this rivalry, it's going to be all, to me, it ultimately leads to Cody finishing his story. I feel like that Cody and Seth lose in night one, and it's just complete utter chaos, complete peril. The all is lost moment. You know what I'm saying? we have that cliffhanger from night one. All is lost. Cody's done. Cody's screwed. He doesn't have a chance to beat Roman Reigns now that it's bloodline rules. But somehow, some way, night two he comes out winning it. And I gotta say, it's a very polarizing incarnation of Rock for me. I notice he's calling himself the final boss now. I do dig that, even though that's my dog Cassidy Keith up in Detroit, the Detroit, Michigan territory. He was the final boss first, but I dig this moniker for The Rock because he is the boss, and he is the one that's kind of running everything with being on the board with the TKO company. It makes sense. Like, once again, for me, it's a polarizing iteration of The Rock, but polarizing doesn't mean I don't like it.
Absolutely. It's different, and I think we're gonna see different shades of different here. I know you and the rest of the world, and like I ain't gonna call you names or nothing like that, but y'all are wanting Cody to finish his story, even though, like, you know, chronologically it doesn't even make sense for him to finish this story yet, but that's neither here nor there or whatever. But I mean, because there's other stories that need to be had. I want to give shout outs in the chat to Grunmeister on Twitch. He said, I don't know if I think they should lose night one. They win night one. Seth gets screwed by Damian Priest, but helps protect Cody from Bloodline to win the title. Austin Cohen says, acknowledge the tribal chief, which right there, bro. Acknowledge him, bro. Yes. Yo, we got other household members in the chat.
Hey,
shout out to
my daughter
on House, yo. Tony Gonzalez, he says WWE is telling his storytelling is on fire, which I tend to agree with right now. They are hitting with all cylinders right now, bro.
Yes, most definitely, they are clicking with all cylinders, bro. And I could not agree more with my man OG Tony. And here's the thing, bro. Like, just because I'm a person where I kind of move off of logic. So just because I like something or enjoy something doesn't mean that I think logically it's gonna happen. If Roman won night 2 of WrestleMania, I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't be mad. That's the thing. I would not be mad. Like, I love Cody and everything, but if he didn't win night 2, I would not be mad. I'd be surprised. This is the same thing I told my son. I would be surprised. But the way everything's moving, especially if they win night 1, especially if they win or if the Bloodline wins night 1, my mindset as far as knowing how wrestling works is that, well, Cody's gonna have more to overcome. Like, they're stacking the deck against Cody. So for me, it feels like if they win night 1, them being the Bloodline, that Cody has got to get set up to win night 2, because it's that all is lost moment. The entire deck is going to be stacked against him, and it's going to feel a little flat if it's Bloodline rules and then he still loses because of Bloodline rules. That just feels flat to me.
Maybe. I don't know. I also, you know how I feel, Con. You already know how I feel.
I already know.
I have an end goal in this. I'm just it means dethroning one man that can be dethroned, right? And truly taking another man taking his seat at the head of the table of the WWE table, and that is Roman Reigns overtaking Hulk Hogan with Dave.
You're just trying to finish your story.
That is the story, bro. I don't know what y'all been I don't know what y'all been looking at, but this is what I've been seeing. Austin Cohen says he wants Cody to lose and turn heel and beat Seth at SummerSlam, which I wouldn't be mad at. Would not be mad at.
Man, here's the thing. I have I presented this in the chat earlier this week. It was something me and my son was talking about. He brought up Seth Rollins, and Seth, obviously that means Seth is still champion by the time SummerSlam comes. I just don't think that's going to happen. At first, I thought Drew McIntyre was just going to beat Seth clean because Seth is going to have all his injuries. But I've since had a new theory, and honestly, I've been dying to give this theory on this podcast so we could be some of the first ones who said it. I don't know if we are going to be the first ones who said it, but I want to get it out there right now. I feel like that Seth and Drew are going to have a war hype. It is going to be an absolute war.
Yes.
All right. That is going to see Seth squeak by. Like, look, if you guys out there in the household, look at my fingers here. Like, it's going to be that narrow of a margin that Seth Rollins is going to beat Drew McIntyre, just that much. And because of the past injuries of one Seth Rollins, his back injuries, well documented for months and months, his recent knee injury from his match with Jinder Mahal, I feel like that he is going to be spent, tired, done for. And as much as I love Drew McIntyre and I love the run that he's going on, and I said it on this podcast and I'll say it again. I feel like this year, Drew McIntyre will be World Heavyweight Champion. And for a minute there, I felt like it was going to be at WrestleMania. But now I'm throwing a Hail Mary here, if you want to call it that. I look at Drew McIntyre and I look at a man who's already made in the main event. I look at Seth Rollins and somebody who's probably a first ballot Hall of Famer if he were to retire tomorrow. So what if we were to elevate somebody else at WrestleMania and not only elevate them to a main event status, give them the title, but also give them a WrestleMania moment, a poetic WrestleMania moment? Who is the only person, Hype, to cash in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania?
Who? Say that one more time.
The one person who's ever successfully cashed in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. The biggest heist of the century, Seth Rollins, right?
Rollins, yeah.
All right. Well, what if he beats Drew McIntyre and is beaten down from the match, beaten down from his past injuries? All of a sudden, the Judgment Day's theme plays at the end of that match. Out comes Damian Priest, ready to finally cash in his Money in the Bank. And maybe Seth gives him a little bit of a back and forth just to keep Seth looking strong. But ultimately, south of heaven, 1, 2, 3, you have Damian Priest, the new World Heavyweight Champion. You gave him a WrestleMania moment. It's poetic because the only person to have ever cashed in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania gets cashed in on himself at WrestleMania. It's a big opportunity for them to take Damian Priest to that next upper echelon and become a main eventer.
I can absolutely see that. I could see a CM Punk getting thrown into this story somehow. To distract Drew, to lead on to whatever they're going to lead on to, because I don't think those two individuals necessarily need a championship in order to feud. I'd like to see them feud without a championship. So if that's where we're headed after WrestleMania, Drew and CM Punk, maybe. I would love that, especially the poetic justice of Damian cashing in on a barely miraculously victorious Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. That would be absolutely chef's kiss. Yeah.
I agree with
Rinmeister
that,
says he wants to see him stealing it from Drew. So yeah, he definitely agrees there too.
Yeah, man. I just feel like that Drew being there is the victory. I like he obviously was our champion during the pandemic era and did a great job. I love Drew McIntyre. I really do. I think he does a great job. He's doing a great job. Everybody knows there was supposed to be Seth Rollins versus CM Punk at this year's WrestleMania. And Drew McIntyre, we don't really know where he would have fit in had that injury not happened. But I got to say, that man slid right in when opportunity presented itself, and he has been eaten up lately, bro. So absolutely. I do think he will be World Heavyweight Champion, but just not at WrestleMania.
Yeah, maybe not. And I don't know. So we were talking about The Rock. The Rock keeps saying he's going to just get rid of that belt, the World Heavyweight Championship belt. So like, if that's a real thing, like, I don't know if that's like, or if it's just a heel tactic to say. Yeah. But if that is a real thing, we may be just looking at a universal title scene. And I would assume that at least after, we'll say, Survivor Series, we'll get a lot of change of hands after that.
Yeah, because I think that once we have some of these historic reigns done, like we kind of saw it with the the undisputed tag team champions. After the Usos had their historic run, we saw the titles kind of flip flop around a little bit, and nobody complained about it. Like, I know back in the day when I watched heavily, way before this podcast, I was just a fan, wasn't in the business, nothing like that. I know people complained about flip-flopping titles, but I feel like after you have a historic title reign, like a long title reign, I think the title kind of flip-flopping around like 2 or 3 times within a calendar year is not a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being real and we're talking about titles changing hands, it looks like Sami Zayn is about to be a great intermediate, intercontinental championship after taking Gunther's run, because it looks like he'll probably win at WrestleMania, right?
It looks like it will, but man, I gotta bring up. I'm glad you brought that up, because I want to get your thoughts on some people kind of rejecting Sammy a little bit, not because they don't like Sammy, but because they thought Gable should be in that spot.
Oh man, Gable's story was so good though, right? And I'm sort of inclined to agree. And I wouldn't be mad if Gable gets added to this spot for WrestleMania too, because his story is just as good as Sammy's, right? But if we think about what we've been asking for over the last 2 to 3 years, right? I know Sammy got that main event spot at Elimination Chamber last year, his home country, but he did not win the big one, and this probably is his consolation prize for that, is to go on a probably medium reign intercontinental run, and then maybe work back in that main title picture, right?
And Grandmaster says he's on the side that he was heartbroken to see Gable lose, but he doesn't hate Sammy over it either. And I agree with that, man. I would even like is Gable, because I know we just heard on this past week's SmackDown they're gonna have a triple threat match for the United States Championship. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens going up, and they're gonna be going up against Logan Paul for that United States Championship. Is that would throwing Gable in the mix for the IC title be too much, or do we want Gable to have his moment a little bit later on in the year? Because I do feel like that Gable's gonna sniff up on that IC title at some point.
Oh, I think Gable's time is coming. But I don't know if Gable's time is coming as a babyface, if that makes sense, right? I feel like this is going to be the arc for Gable, is that he may fail a few times and fail in the eyes of his daughter. That's the story that's being told right now. And then maybe his whole world crumbles from there, but he builds back from that. But builds back as a heel, uses all that pain, uses it for revenge or something like that. I don't know. That seems like a WWE sort of thing to do with a guy like Gable in his spot. I wouldn't want to change his character, but like that's what I would assume that is going to happen.
A lot of different options that you can go with Chad Gable. I do, and like, because like we're in that time now, bro, where like we're only looking at the small picture here, because we're 3 weeks away from WrestleMania, and because we're only looking towards WrestleMania, we're not looking at the things past WrestleMania. Like, I know that last year they really did a great job of making Backlash a pretty big deal, and then we have Money in the Bank that's gonna be this summer, and then SummerSlam, and there's more. So like, I totally understand like getting tunnel vision and only seeing the one destination that is WrestleMania, but they still have to be able to tell stories past WrestleMania as well.
Absolutely.
Gunmaster says, "Oh, we're getting Gable as IC champ. I don't know what kind of path we could see for him to get there, but that's kind of what we were just talking about,
right?"
I think me and Hype both kind of see it, but they might have to kind of tweak some things to get him there.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to ultimately end up happening. I don't know if maybe they see Gable as the ultimate baby face, because sometimes to be the ultimate baby face, man, you got to be able to be the face of the company, and I don't know if they see Gable as that guy. And that's not to knock him or anything else like that. There's just a lot of guys in front of him that would probably fill up that role slightly better than him in my eyes. Hey, I want to invite everybody that's listening out there. We sent the link out. If you'd like to hop on with us on this podcast, feel free to jump
I'm
on.
asking a
What?
question. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have a question, we'll let you ask it, and then we'll go from there and whatnot. But feel free to jump into this house party with us, man. We want to make this the most interactive as we can. So
Yes, most definitely. And of course, we're going to get the podcast out to you guys on Apple Podcasts and, of course, on Spotify. But we want to stay here with WWE. And I want to talk a little bit about this six-pack challenge here, the ladder match for the undisputed tag team championships. And this is an announcement that they made on Monday Night Raw, but it's spanning throughout both shows. So it's still SmackDown news too. I want to talk a little bit about this. It's kind of, I think that it's like kind of tournament style. Like for me, it almost feels a little bit overly convoluted as far as how we're getting there. But I'm excited for this ladder match, man. I think this is a good way to get a lot of teams involved and get that big Money in the Bank feel that they had when they had it on WrestleMania years ago, but now we're going to get it for the tag team titles. And I think this is just perfect, man. And of course, I love me a good ladder match. My favorite match stipulation, ladder match. What are your thoughts on this match and the possible participants?
Yeah, I at first I maybe didn't understand it because I thought it was just a six-pack challenge match for the titles, and then I was like, man, I don't love that because I want at least an elimination thing. But with it being a ladder match with the ladder stipulation, I'm all for it. Makes it that whole nother level thing that we're gonna see at WrestleMania, and I think that's exactly what it needed.
Yeah, it needed that type of element of chaos. I think that's very important. And dog, I love a good ladder match, bro. Like bro, I gotta tell you, bro, I gotta be honest with you. We got about 10 matches set, and I'm gonna pull them up here in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and let you vamp for me and give some of your thoughts on some things. But I gotta tell you, man, these matches that we do have set, this looking like a cold WrestleMania, bro.
Yeah, WrestleMania is what do we have here? Let me try to pull these up as well.
It's looking like a cold one, bro. I know we got the Usos that just got set up. Jimmy accepted Jay's challenge on SmackDown. That's gonna be great, man. I gotta tell you, I'm really excited for that one. What's your thoughts on that match there, the brothers match? Because you actually put something in your house group chat, and it was a really good point. It's been a 15-year span. So actually, you the one who found it. So go ahead, break it down for me. Break it down for
me. I saw that this is this is about around every 15 years they do a brother versus brother match for WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. So the very first one was Brett versus Owen at 10, I believe. And then they did what was the middle one? I can't remember what the middle one.
Oh, it was the Hardys at WrestleMania 25.
Yeah, the Hardys at 25, and then the Usos at 40. So like math adds up every 15 years, brother versus brother, and this is I think this is going to be amazing. Now, all right, so here's what we got here. We've been building up to Jimmy versus Jay for what, like 2 years now?
Yeah, it's been coming.
And they've been on the same side. They've and they've turned on each other. But eventually, everything in the bloodline is going to break down. And if everyone else is right, and if this is Cody's time to finish his story or whatever like that, then this will be Jimmy's time to break down, right? So, do we get reconciliation between the brothers at 40?
That's a good question. There would be a WrestleMania moment okay, all right. Let me ask you this, because I think I got an idea. Who would you book to win this thing if you had to pin?
Oh no, Jay wins. He's
Okay, all right,
main
I'm in
event Jey
agreement.
Uso. Like, yeah.
I'm in agreement that Jay's got to win it. Jay's got to win it. He's the little brother, and then Jimmy. Oh man, I'm sorry. Jimmy finally acknowledges Jay.
I like that. I like
Oh,
that.
that's good. That's good.
Oh man. What if they make
That's
this
good.
an I quit?
Ooh,
Or
that
instead of
could
an
be
I
good,
quit,
too.
we flip it from an I quit to an I acknowledge you.
That's fire. That's hot fire right there. Yeah, I don't.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
no more. No, I don't want an I quit match. I want an I acknowledge you match. That's cold as hell right there. I like that a lot. Somebody,
I need a
somebody
job.
pitch that
No.
to WWE for real.
And tell them I sent you. Like, please.
Yes, yes. That's the cold.
I want an
idea.
I acknowledge you match. That would be the coldest shit in the fucking world, bro.
I agree.
I think Jimmy
like that
versus
a lot.
Jay would be a perfect.
We need to clip that particular statement that you made, put it out there on the social medias, because I honestly think that's the coldest idea for these two to have an I acknowledge you match. That's nasty right there.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you guys think out there in the household, man? And again, don't be afraid to jump on, man. Even if you're in your car, you're doing something, man, you just got a quick question.
You come right on, ask a question. We'll talk
Yeah.
about it, and then you could go on about your day.
Yeah, bro. So don't be afraid, no.
That easy. Hey, we have a question for my son on IG Live. His question is, that's my son Elijah. His question is, who wins at Mania? Randy, Logan Paul, or KO? Ooh, that's a good question. That's a good question.
So I have this rule in my household. I don't know if you got the same rule in your household, but we don't support Logan Paul. So we don't buy primes, we buy body armors.
We don't buy no prime. No, I don't buy no prime, bro.
No. But with that being said, Logan Paul wins this and he comes out victorious at WrestleMania.
Okay.
That's the math that's mathing for me, right? What do y'all think?
I'm not saying I hate that idea, because I don't. Because I might not be a huge Logan Paul supporter. Like, you're not gonna see me running around drinking prime or anything like that. But I do. I guess the theme of this episode is acknowledge. I do acknowledge the fact that he's an incredible athlete and he's grown in a very short amount of time into a great WWE superstar. But I do think that I do see the trend of the stars, the mainstream stars. They kind of duck off after WrestleMania. So like, I expect like The Rock to kind of go back behind the scenes, and he's got I think it's the UCL, his football league coming up. So we'll probably see him a lot less on TV after that.
I think yes, but there is speculation that he will be reoccurring after this WrestleMania, and I think that'll be necessary. Probably.
Who, Rock?
Yeah.
I think I would love to see him stay. I would love to see him stay. I would. I truly would. Like, and that's what I was leading up to, OG. I think that Kevin Owens is going to come out winning this one. I just don't see Randy Orton winning it. I also don't see Randy Orton taking the pin. I don't see Randy Orton being the U.S. champion. I think after Mania, we kind of float him back maybe into that main event. Randy Orton, he still talks, looks, and wrestles like he's a main event guy. So I think that we got to get the most out of main event Randy as we possibly can. I do think Kevin Owens could carry that U.S. championship again. He's been a U.S. champion in the past. I think that he can do it again. I do think that KO comes out of this match the winner, just for the fact that I feel like maybe Logan Paul will be on TV a little bit less and can't really carry that title the way he used to.
You want to make this interesting?
What do you think? What do you got?
So you got KO?
Yes.
And I have Logan Paul.
Yes.
So let's say if KO wins, I have to drink a prime.
Okay.
If Logan Paul wins, you have to drink a prime.
Oh, okay. Oh man.
If Randy wins, we both do.
Oh, you know what, bro? You know what? you got a damn deal.
All right. I'll
You
too
got a
sweet
deal.
you
I
for that.
will drink. If Logan Paul wins, I will drink a prime. I'm here for that. I am here for that type of competitive spirit. I'm down. Yes, let's do that.
I like this. Yeah, I that's what's up. So you hear it first out at our household. If Logan Paul wins, my man Con Man has to drink a prime. If KO wins, I do. And I'm not a prime household, man. I drink body armor. I swear I got one around here somewhere. But if Randy Orton wins, we both do. So
that's good. I like that, man. Hey. So what we can do is, I do believe that you will be in the household for WrestleMania night 1.
okay.
If they do this match on night 1, we can do it at the party, and we can have somebody video it, and we will put it on our social medias for the household to check out.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's plan to do that. I like that.
That's good. That's good stuff.
Yes.
All right, man. Yeah, we're having a really great episode here at In Your House. Me and my man Hype back together, reunited, and it feels so good. It's great. We're discussing some awesome stuff here. WrestleMania is looking to be an absolute banger, man. So let's get back to a little tag team wrestling. I want to get back to that 6-pack challenge, man. Do you have any favorites to come out of that match winning? Do you have the Judgment Day retaining? Or there's a lot of what I've talked about on this show in the past couple of weeks. There's been a lot of emphasis on tag team wrestling for the last few weeks. Do you think there's any team that can surprise us and actually take those titles and become the new champs?
I think Judgment Day comes out of this.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a strong feeling as to why any other, like, I know they're trying to push New Catch Republic, but I mean, if they just want, what's the word when you just kind of hold a title for a second, for a next bigger champ to take
kind
on
of
the
transition.
title? Transitional. Yeah. I hope that they're not, like, I wouldn't want to see just a transitional champion out of them. I don't think they're primed and ready, but I think they are trying to prime them, as well as I think they're trying to get behind DIY, or a Regeneration X, if you will.
Regeneration X, yeah.
Yeah. But right now, strong pick, Judgment Day. Who we got? Creed Brothers from Austin.
Creed Brothers is a good pick. I like the Creed Brothers.
And Miz from Tony Gonzalez, which I like that pick too. That's a good pick too. If it's not Judgment Day, they would be my pick. And honestly, Truth and Miz, I think deserve some tag team gold together, even if they haven't been back together for a while.
Oh, I agree. Because if it's not, I only had 2 picks because I feel like my thought process is
Judgment
that
Day
Judgment Day is losing. Is like I think they're losing, and the reason I think they're losing is because I think that we're gonna have emphasis on Finn as a solo and then Damian as a solo, and we need that, especially for Damian. That's why I really, really hope he cashes in on WrestleMania. Like, I'm a Damian Priest fan, bro. I love that dude. I'm a big fan of him. Like, I'm watching him.
Who's to say Damian Priest? Okay, let's say that New Catch Republic wins this 6-pack ladder match for the champion. Who's to say Damian wouldn't cash in his briefcase so that they can regain their tag team titles back and be one of the first people to actually do that?
I hear you, but I don't want that for Damian, bro. I want him to be champion. I love Damian Priest.
I think we're pushing this dissension and this breakup of Damian specifically from Judgment Day because we want to see him as a face run, but I don't know if that's the best run for him to do that. It may add a better character dynamic for him to be ultimate sacrifice. Let me do this for my team, my squad, right?
Yeah. It's not to say that he couldn't get a title run down the line, but God, it's just him doing it at WrestleMania just feels perfect.
I don't know. I just think maybe if he does that, maybe if he does that, they win, and then there's more dissension later. They end up kicking Damian out, right? That just adds that level of, man, we should really get behind Damian. We should really, really be striving for this guy, and then that pushes him into a good, strong singles title run. Maybe against the likes of a Finn, where he defeats Finn or something like that.
I gotta tell you, I'm ready for the Finn. I'm ready for the Finn Balor Damian Priest feud as well. I will say that it could have the world title if he cashes in, because what they can do is, alternatively, what they could do is they could just go ahead and have Damian Priest cash in at WrestleMania, become the world heavyweight champion, cashing in on Seth Rollins, and then everybody's talking about Damian. He's the guy. Everybody loves him. He's the world champion, blah, blah, blah. But what have we seen in the past in Finn Balor's character? Finn Balor's character has developed into somebody who's very jealous and vindictive.
Yes.
And things of that nature. So what if we just see this slow build, maybe up until SummerSlam, of Finn Balor just fuming in the background, kind of what they've done with Dakota Kai and Io Sky, where they've told stories with their facial expressions. If you pay attention to the Io Sky and Bailey video packages, you can see that even last year, Io Sky was making facial expressions towards Bailey like, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if they did something like that with Finn, where it's like, oh, I'm tired of this fucking guy, blah, blah, blah. And then it just leads up to him finally snapping and turning on Damian.
I think that's the natural progression, right? I mean, you and I are big storytellers of, all right, where's this story going to go? It's not where's this match going to go, or like what kind of title reign is he going to have, or anything. This. What kind of story is they going to tell us? I want to highlight this this comment from Grunmeister. He says he feels like it's a bit of a downgrade of the Money in the Bank briefcase if it was to be cashed in on the tag teams. And like, I understand that, but you gotta also remember, what was it, a year ago, 2 years ago, we had Austin Theory cash it in for the US title. I mean, and we see in NXT where the breakout champion briefcase nonetheless, right? They can cash in on for any title. We've seen that get cashed in for, I believe, the tag team titles as well as the NXT title, but also the North American title. So I think I think the idea of like that moving in different directions, not always being a push for the world title scene, or not always being used as a catalyst for the story of the world title scene, to mix that up a little bit, is there's not a lot of bad in that, right? That because it can
when you break it down like that, like I'm sorry to interrupt, because
you're fine.
Thinking about what you're saying, I'm like, maybe it could be somebody that's looking to just be like, listen, I need something that's going to jumpstart my career. I know I can't cash in on Roman. He's too protected. That's too risky. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what Austin Theory said in his Money in the Bank reign, which is what we're also seeing out of Damian. Unfortunately, that's kind of the story that's being told with Roman, because he's had such a chokehold on this title reign, right? That like, even if you have the ultimate opportunity to take it away from him, you don't have.
You got to be smart about it, right?
Yeah.
I think you got to be smart about it. So like, you just opened up my way of thinking as far as that goes, because I was kind of on Grumeister's side. I'm like, if I'm going for it, I'm going for it. You know what I'm saying? But also I understand, like, it's like, okay, I got to take what I can get, because I know that this, with as heavily as protected as Roman is, like, I can't make that play. It's almost like a complete uncertainty that I'm going to win. Because even if I catch him slipping, you got Jimmy, you got Solo, Paul Heyman might do something. You know what I'm saying? So like, now you got The Rock. That's an element. There is totally, and I want to talk about this. Like, we want to talk about like hierarchies and kingdoms. Look at what we're having here with the WWE, where it's just like a land of many kingdoms. You know what I'm saying? Where you have the hierarchy, the highest of hierarchies with the bloodline, and they're running everything. Got the main title, they run the company. The Samoans are just taking over. But then you have the Judgment Day, who's got their territory that they can stake claim to. You know what I'm saying? Then you have other teams like the Alpha Academy, like, hey, we're down here, but we good down here. You know what I'm saying?
And look
So
at
many
Pride
different
or
elements.
Final, was it Final Testament?
Or the Final Testament, exactly.
Yeah, these are groups that
different kingdoms.
They're all being groomed to be that next definitive stable, and I think that's what WWE has been looking at for a while, especially in this Paul Levesque Triple H reign of creative control. Right, is that they use these factions, which as they should, man. Japan's been doing this for forever.
It's like turf wars, bro. This is smart. It's smart.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're also developing this in NXT. You got to look at like where the Street Profits came from, or now where the family is, you know, like and how big that can potentially be, especially when it crosses over to the main roster.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. There's definitely I could sit up here and praise NXT and what they're doing right now for the entirety of this podcast, just because it's a lot of good stuff. But I gotta tell you, man, this turf wars that we're having, it's really good, and we're leading into a really good WrestleMania. I mean, we talk about stables and everything. Stables are not just good to have stable wars against each other, but look what we're seeing with how a stable like Damage Control is affecting Bayley's push, and how Bayley is becoming a bigger star from having the numbers against her. The biggest thing about Bayley is that it's kind of like when Jey Uso went to Monday Night Raw. You know what I'm saying? And you've pissed off so many people that like you're standing on your own, and you have to have your own back in a locker room full of stables that are watching each other's backs. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's not really a situation that you want to be in. You want to try to find people that you can align yourself with, that you can trust, because that's what everybody else is doing. It's like you don't want. It's like being in prison, bro. You don't want to be on your own. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be by yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Want to at least have a couple people with you that have your back or something like that, man. Like you cannot be out there in the wild by yourself like that.
Exactly. And that's what we're seeing with Bayley, and that dynamic that she's having with Damage Control, where Damage Control is going to take her out every time. And Bianca Belair is like, I ain't messing with it. I am not messing with it. But of course, you have Naomi, who has not been there and is not seen. This was just great storytelling, the way they tied Naomi into this. And I hear you people out there on the internet, oh, well, Naomi just went to WWE, and now she's jobbing to Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown. No, man, she was a big star on TNA. Why? No. Look at the bigger picture, y'all. They are leading to more for Naomi. Yes, she's putting Tiffany Stratton over because Tiffany Stratton needs to start gaining victories, guys. Tiffany Stratton is going to go to the top very, very quick, and they need to protect Tiffany Stratton. But Naomi can take these losses because Naomi is telling a bigger story, getting involved in Bayley's stuff. Please stop saying that Naomi is a jobber, because she's not. You're just seeing it from a small scope. She is building to something. She is just helping other talent along the way while she's building to what she's building to. So I just had to get that out. I had to.
We're gonna see how Naomi has Bayley's back in this, and I mean Bayley's gonna Bayley. I don't think this Bayley face turn is going to be a true face turn. Bayley's always going to be herself, right? Or at least this version of her that she has been. Whether she kind of tweens in this or whatnot, like I don't think that she will truly have Naomi's back the way Naomi has had Bayley's back in this. And we see that like Grimmeister says that they need 2 more people, which I think those 2 people will probably be looking like Bianca maybe, and maybe Jade come to Bayley's aid somehow. At least that's what it's looking like to me. But I think she's gonna have help, and she's gonna have backup, and she's gonna find allies and people that she didn't really realize she had allies in.
Yeah.
And this is such an interesting story with Bailey, that they're just kind of like pushing back, right? Like, we don't see a lot of coverage about it. Like, we don't see a lot of things. Like, it's not the most highlighted of story, but man, it has so many different layers in it,
Oh
and they just
God,
keep
yes.
adding to it, and it's just like, give me more, feed me more of this.
Dog, for real. Like, this is, and I think honestly, hype, I think it's designed to be that way. But this is underratedly one of the best stories that you're gonna see on wrestling television right now.
Right.
Underratedly. Now, I want to acknowledge because that name came up. I saw here, I do believe Sasha. I want to acknowledge Mercedes Moné debuting at AEW at Big Business. We all knew that it was coming. I just want to kind of pivot to that real quick, and then we can go back to talking more WrestleMania, because we're having a really great WrestleMania heavy episode. But I want to pivot to that real quick, because I want to say that I tuned in. I haven't been watching a whole lot of AEW lately, but I tuned in because I love Mercedes Moné. I loved her. I loved her Sasha Banks run in WWE. I love that she followed her dreams and went to Japan, because she's a huge fan of Japan. I am a fan of Sasha Banks's journey on her own. As somebody who can relate to somebody who came up in the Midwest and didn't have many friends and just had to sit up there and watch wrestling. And she watched a lot of Eddie Guerrero. I watched Eddie Guerrero too, because I watched a lot of WCW. She's a little bit, I think, a little younger than me. And then to see that Midwest kid, Boston kid, I'm sorry. She came up in the Midwest, but she later moved to Boston. To see that kid become not only a great wrestler in the WWE and have everything, and I don't feel like she got everything that she should have gotten in the WWE, and I think she feels that way too, and that's why she left. And then she went, and they left the way they left, and then left a sour taste in a lot of fans' mouth. And there's still a lot of people that just cannot stand Mercedes Moné. It's weird hate to me, but she's gone to Japan and done that. Now she's in AEW, and honestly, I'm excited to see her run and what she's gonna do. I'm in the air that I would have loved to see her go back to the WWE. I'm just being honest. I would have loved to see her go back to the WWE, but I was even talking to my son about this, and she says, even herself, she plans to go back. But honestly, and I know it's kind of like, we're not supposed to say this, blah, 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 or she's not supposed to say this, but I feel like AEW is just a stepping stone for her to go back to WWE, because we saw Shawn Spears go back. And one thing that I noticed about that is that he didn't go back as Ty Dillinger. He went back as Shawn Spears. Yes. I think that Mercedes Moné wants to have a great run in AEW, finish out her contract there, and then I think she wants to go to WWE as Mercedes Moné.
Ooh, that would be interesting. I don't know if that'll be truly what happens in the world of WWE. Maybe she'll gain more rights to the name Sasha Banks or something like that. But I think she'll always be Sasha Banks in WWE. It would highly surprise me if her. It doesn't really surprise me in Shawn Spears.
Well, the Perfect 10 didn't really do anything. Like,
no.
He owned,
and being Ty Dillinger
that,
was kind of like, yeah.
He owned that 10 character. He really did. I really believe he owned that 10 character. But honestly, bro, I think that Shawn Spears, going back to Shawn Spears, is great for him and his career.
Right. I think so too. Austin Cohen also agrees that he doesn't think that she can come back as anything other than Sasha. She was trying to get paid. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. I think she this week she has she rubbed some people the wrong way with some interviews that she said where she would love to go back to WWE eventually, and that she sees herself going back to, which why wouldn't she? She made so much history in WWE.
She did.
Like she will be in the WWE Hall of Fame without a shadow of a doubt, right? you know, the WWE owes her a lot, especially with the women's division. I mean, her and Bailey and Charlotte and
Becky.
Becky Lynch, but also, you know, names like Alexa Bliss and even the Bella Twins and things like
Liv
that. Like
Morgan,
Liv Morgan, they were
Rhea
all a
Ripley,
part of that. Yes,
Bianca
yes.
Belair.
Hey,
We can
just
keep
keep
going,
naming,
dog.
keep
This is
going,
the
bro.
greatest generation of women's wrestling ever.
Absolutely. And I think she will bring an absolute, she can bring an absolute light to women's wrestling in AEW. I you guys want me to be real? You want me to be
Listen,
real right
go
now?
ahead,
Because
because I'm
like,
about to be real too. Go, because I'm about to go right after you.
I don't know if her AEW reign or run will be great. And it's not because she's not great. It's mainly just because AEW has not shown any inclining of being able to produce great women's wrestling on their mainstream television.
Come on, somebody.
Fight me on that.
Somebody. That's what I'm saying. Like, and here's the thing. I'm sorry, y'all. I know you guys love AEW. I'm not hating on AEW. I watched AEW this past Wednesday and I thought they had a good episode. I'm going to say that. I'm not hating on AEW, but the best women's wrestling is within World Wrestling Entertainment right now. I just named you at least 8 or 9 names. And honestly, I love Mercedes Moné. I do. And I want to see her go compete with the best. And the best is in WWE. You know what? I love Timeless Toni Storm. I want to see Timeless Toni Storm compete with the best. I want to see Toni Storm go to the WWE as this character. I'm sorry. I want to see the best compete with the best. And the best is in WWE for women's wrestling right now.
Facts.
I said what I said. What I said.
Bro, I mean, we're not I don't think we're being too bold or being smarky when we say this. Like and I'm not saying there is very good women's wrestling in the world of AEW, but I'm specifically on their mainstream television, it's not there. It's not highlighted very well. This past Wednesday was great. Main event with having a main event between Willow and was it Rio? It was Willow and Rio, right? Yeah. And having Mercedes come out at the end of that to kind of help Willow. But I mean, AEW does great with Ring of Honor, but nobody sees that. Nobody sees what Athena's doing, but she's had a great reign here soon. I'd love to see this iteration of no more Ember Moon and no more Sasha Banks face each other, because this will be a kind of a first time for Mercedes Moné and Athena. Yeah, I'm sorry. But I'm scared. And I bet in about 4 years she goes to WWE. That'll just be facts.
Hey, once again, I know we kind of hurt the AEW fans' feelings a little bit, and I understand but once again, that main event that they had that led to Mercedes Moné coming out. I do believe that it is an effort to try to elevate that women's division. But I'm saying right now, it's not even close between AEW and WWE. It's not even close. I would put Impact as second behind WWE, and then I have AEW third. I mean, it just is what it is, and I just hope that the improvement continues and we continue to trend in that direction. But I got to tell you that I do believe that when I think of Mercedes Moné, and then we're going to get back to WrestleMania, when I think of Mercedes Moné, I just think of a star player trying to get on a team so that way they could, hoop and put up the best possible stats possible. So that way when their contract year comes up, the big dog will look at him and be like, hey, you can help us win. Come on over here. You know what I'm saying? Like we see it many times in sport. And I think that Mercedes Moné, she is, of course, the CEO. She's a businesswoman. So why would she not be like, let me just ball out on AEW for a few years, and then when my contract year comes up, I'll ball out real hard, get my stock way up. WWE will have to take notice, and boom, I'm where I want to be at, back with the 4 horsewomen and main, trying to headline WrestleManias again.
Just like Mr. Gonzalez says right here, NXT is better, and absolutely is. Even though
Agreed. I just kept it under the
right
WWE radar. I just kept it under the WWE radar, but he is right. He is right.
Yeah. NXT's been killing it for a while, and that's and it's been secretly killing it because people stopped watching it after the 2.0 thing, but so much better, and it's gonna and CM Punk's gonna run it eventually if he doesn't have backstage heat bit with Booker T.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Like, come on,
it's an interesting story.
What are we doing? What are we doing here? That's crazy.
It's all work. Booker's out there.
I'm sure it's a work.
He just said,
but I gotta.
He just want to talk.
Yeah, I know. But I gotta tell you, man. Getting back to SmackDown here, I'm just seeing that these shows are some really, they're really doing great shows. And I talked about it with Sam a little bit on the last show. I think this is either the 7th or 8th sellout for WWE shows. Brother, they're cooking with gas right now.
Absolutely, man. Look, it has to be from the stories. It has to be from the names, man. Or The Rock is absolutely killing it. Him being back is just doing numbers, mad, big numbers. Not to kick it back to AEW, but those things aren't doing numbers right now. They said Mercedes, although 10,000 in Boston, very good. The social media numbers are not even reaching 1 million, but you look here at The Rock's 20-minute, 9-minute long promos, cutting old school promos on Cody and his mama on YouTube or X or whatever, man, and they're doing millions and millions
and millions
of views, man, and it's just just cooking. If you can't smell what WWE is cooking, I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Listen, man, it's just crazy to me because I'm glad you kind of brought that up because there was another thing I kind of wanted to talk about, and I hope that we have some of our great commenters here. OG Tony is here. We got Austin over here. Grandmeister's been riding with us. I want to talk a little bit about. And
hold on here. Mr. Gonzalez says, but that's not wrestling. I want you to elaborate on this comment for us, man. What you mean?
I want to know too.
Because I want to know if you're being for real, or you just or if you poking at the AEW or the smarty smart marks.
Oh man, I love it. But I want to, and you talk about smarty smart marks, man. You keep teeing me up for these segues here, bro, and
That's
I'm loving it,
brother.
I want to talk a little bit about these social media tribalistic outrage accounts, because Bully Ray actually responded to an outrage account this past weekend. I don't know if you saw it, but I don't even want to say, I honestly don't want to say the handle because that's what they do. They say outrageous shit to get attention and they end up with, thousands and thousands of followers and even get guys like Bully Ray to come and debate with them. But what do you think about these outrage accounts, man? Do you like to just watch the chaos? Or I know for me, I just sit up there and be like, you're really just having all these, and it's one thing if you honestly feel that way, but I think some of them just kind of use a whole lot of hyperbole just to get people pissed off and talking.
Hold on, let me go grab some snacks because I could tell you a story. I love the toxicity. You've met me, man. My name is Hypocrisy Jones for a reason, man, because I ain't telling you why, but I love the toxicity, man. I'm a child of Usher and Kanye, bro. So feed it to me, give me more, but I'll feed for this. I don't love that it's happening. I think it's craziness, but man, give me some popcorn and a drink, man, and I will scroll, screenshot.
I guess for me it's a guilty pleasure too, but I do it more of it's like I see why these guys don't like use their real names or anything like that, because like the outrage that they ensue, like people would actually come for their heads, bro. Like they would come, especially on Twitter, like they would call, and I'm not saying they try to like run up at their house and try to kill them or anything, but I'm saying they would figure out where their job is and they would call their job and try to get them fired. You know how people do nowadays and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So I know that these outrage accounts are like most definitely people that cover their name or have some kind of strange name or something, but it's just a weird thing because like there's a lot of them that go really hard for AEW, and I'm like, you go hard for AEW, but your handle says WWE in it. What message are you going for? But it's just crazy to me that there's these people that get this much, like they kick up this much dust that they get thousands of people to follow them for their outrageous things that they say, and sometimes even wrestlers respond.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the intent, man. Everybody wants to get their follows up, and that's how you do it sometimes is by poking the bear and by, just as Mr. Gonzalez was doing here, and we do sometimes, man. Sometimes you gotta poke the bear, man. Have a little fun. But sometimes wrestlers take things too serious too.
Oh, they do, most definitely. Wrestlers, trust me, I've seen it, and it's because they take what they do so seriously. And I think that from a fan's perspective, like they don't look at it the way a wrestler sees it, because they look at it as this hobby. You know what I'm saying? Like a fan looks at it as a hobby. It's something that they do to, maybe harken back to their childhood, or maybe try to escape their, reality, things of that nature. And those are all okay things to do, but wrestlers think about it differently. Like, yeah, they did it because they loved it as a child, but also now a lot of these wrestlers do it because that's what's putting food on the table. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them take their art very seriously. So it's like that weird mix of, okay, I am the artist and you are the spectator, and you have this take on my art when you've never held the canvas or the brush. So it's a weird relationship between those two. But I just wanted to bring that up real quick, just because it's seeing these outrage accounts. It's always an interesting thing in wrestling, kind of like podcasters. Like podcasters aren't always, we're not always smiled at fondly by people in the business, but we do it anyway. So it's just this weird thing that I wanted to bring up and talk about. But one thing that we didn't talk about is another match that was set up at WrestleMania 40, and that's LA Knight now going up against AJ Styles. Yeah, and I didn't want to not talk about that one, but I didn't want to not talk about that one because I think that's going to be another one of those sleeper matches that's going to be really damn good. What's your thoughts on what we can see from LA Knight and AJ Styles at Mania?
Yeah, they're gonna beat the shit out of each other. Like I don't know why I have this feeling, but they're going to beat the shit out of each other, and it's more than an it's like they are going to absolutely demolish each other, and like it's like I feel like you are right. They both got something to prove, and they're gonna prove it at WrestleMania this year. AJ Styles is gonna prove that he ain't dead yet, and LA Knight is just gonna keep on proving to people why that his meteoric rise has been so hot and fast and rising, man. I think, man, that's going to be a good match.
So it happens in wrestling all the time, and we're starting to see that effect now. LA, at least I've seen.
You still there with us?
I'm here.
Okay.
And the effect that I'm seeing is that people are now starting to slowly turn on LA Knight. I'm seeing it in comments on Facebook where it's like they're saying he might be good on the mic, he's average in the ring, and he doesn't have any depth to the things that he says. It's just and let me talk to you, and nah. And I'm like, oh no, it's happening. We're that slow turn against LA Knight is happening now, man. I've noticed it. I've anticipated that it was coming. I thought it would happen after he won a title, but now it's happening now, man. I don't know if you've seen it, but I've kind of been scoping comments and seeing that slow turn is beginning to happen.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but I knew that it was going to come eventually. It comes with everyone. Everyone starts to get that turn, and hopefully WrestleMania is a time for him and for AJ Styles to both turn that level up and to show and prove, bro. Because that's the stage. You got a WrestleMania match.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the stage. Bianca ain't even got a WrestleMania match.
Exactly, bro. Like, it's crazy to me because like AJ Styles has just been floating around the mid card for like a long time now that we forget AJ Styles is AJ freaking Styles. Like, yes. Can we please not forget that this man is literally one of the best overall performers in like the last 20 years? Like, and let's not forget that even though you guys see LA Knight, let's not forget that guy's freaking Eli Drake, who had fantastic runs in TNA and NWA. Let's not forget who these two men are. So if you guys want to be like, oh, well, AJ Styles isn't doing anything, or LA Knight, he's just a catchphrase now, blah, blah, blah. Right. Watch what they do at WrestleMania and just watch. Let the artists create the art, because I promise you, those two know where they're at. I don't think that AJ Styles and LA Knight thought that they would ever wrestle each other at WrestleMania. Seriously, no. These are two guys that floated around the indies for years and years and years. They probably never thought that they would meet each other on this stage. Watch what they do. Watch what they do. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, just like Grunmeister says here, if you have a bad match with AJ Styles, then you ain't good. And he says, I'm confident this match will shut up the naysayers. As am I. I think it's going to be a really good match.
Agreed. I don't know what else to say more than that, because there's another match that we definitely want to talk about. And that's a match that we were talking a little bit about how this great women's roster is and how it is the best of the best, literally the best of the best as far as women's talent and people involved. And we talk about Rhea Ripley and also Becky Lynch. They're going to be going up against each other, and that match could literally be amazing, bro, as well.
Absolutely. We're slowly wrapping up this podcast here, but we have a guest out there in the household we're going to bring on.
Pull up.
Yeah, this is Jason M. He's going to ask us a question, and then we're going to close out of here. What's up, Jason? Oh, nope, don't want that. Oh, we got.
You never know what's gonna happen when you go live like that.
Absolutely.
So, thank you, Jason M. I was. That's exactly what I wanted to see.
Yeah, that was something. That.
Oh man.
Thanks, bro.
So Rhea Ripley, and Becky Lynch. That's gonna be a really good match, I do believe. They're starting to slowly tell this story here with Liv Morgan that's getting involved. And I got to tell you, I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing from Liv Morgan and her wanting to get her redemption against her revenge against Rhea Ripley. This revenge tour, I'm loving it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be great, and I think we're going to see more of it. And we're going to see it at WrestleMania. Probably I bet we'll see her stick her nose into Rhea and Becky some more. So,
most definitely. I think it's gonna be a good match, man. We talked a lot of great matches here. We talked pretty much the entirety of WrestleMania, man, and it's been great. It was good to get you back on here and have this great episode, man. But we got to get on out of here, man. Once again, a great episode. We enjoyed the interaction that we had in the chat. We love it when you guys do that. So let's do this again. Yeah, we appreciate it. I'm going to be coming back Tuesday with my solo shot, talking a little bit of Monday Night Raw. Excited to get back to that on a regular basis now that I'm in the new household and we're starting to get very well settled in. But what do you got moving, bro? I know you got a lot of things to do. Once again, you've been working, you've been acting, you've been hitting the stages as a comedian, bro. What do you got moving? Let the household know before you slide out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we have our Kokomo Press presents open mic nights at Cooper's Pub in Kokomo, Indiana. If you're in the area, come through on a Thursday, man. It's free to join us. We do 5-minute sets for an open mic. We have 15 slots, so if you want to come in, just let us know. We'll put you in. We'll put your name down, and you can do a set with us. But we also have on March 23rd, we have a big showcase show at Cooper's Pub. We'll be upstairs. Be $10 cover, 2-drink minimum to come through. But we have a very special showcase where myself, let's see, I don't have a picture, or I don't have a thing, but we have myself, Jordan Granger, Brian Allen West, as well as Ray Hensley, Austin Fry, and Julie Heckman are going to do some great comedy for you. So if you're in the area, the Kokomo area, come check us out. Follow the Kokomo Press. Follow me right here on In Your House, man. Not hard to find. My name's Hypocrisy Jones, and you can find that literally anywhere you can spell that.
Man, of course, we always appreciate you sliding on through and having a great discussion. I thought this was a fun episode. We had a real fun episode. You know what I'm saying? We got a chance to talk about everything WrestleMania. We got a chance to see a little action. Thank you once again, Jason M. That's exactly what I needed. But we had a real fun episode, man. And we're gonna slide on out of here. As for me, this Saturday, I'll be debuting in Indianapolis. That's Wrestle Arch 16. I'll be doing some backstage stuff and backstage correspondence and helping out with promos. I love to do it. I'm excited for this show, and that's this Saturday the 23rd. You can go to WrestleArchTix.com. Doors at 5, bell time at 6. It's at 5505 East Washington Street. That's the Irving Theater. It's going to be a great, great show. We're going to see a lot of great names and a lot of great talent, such as Jordan Dye, such as Apollo Star, Alice Crowley, some of the best local talent that you're going to see. Guess what? They are going to be there, and I will be in the building doing some work and doing what I do to contribute to professional wrestling. So, guys, we're going to slide on out of here. This was a really great episode. And, of course, you guys already know that there is a spider, apparently. Thank you, Alayla. I'll handle that in a minute. Save us, please. You guys can follow me at In Your House. That's HOWSE. And, of course, at The Hollywood House on IG and Hollywood House on Facebook and on Twitter. And guys, make sure you spell my name right. That's HOWSE, and the W stands for work. So guys, really appreciate you guys sliding through. Make sure that you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to hop on this bandwagon. Get on or get gone, because the household, we are still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.